Good everyone. In today's video, I'll be implementing an email validation system from scratch. So if you are a beginner level or you're a software developer with experience, for years of experience building a website or a Django website, this is the video for you. If you want to implement an email validation system from scratch using Django framework, this is the right video for you. Most times, 25 to 30% of what email addresses entered on any website daily are invalid, and these features of validating emails comes in by software developers or software programmers out there, or web application developers out there that want to build a website, want to build a web application for end users out there to make use of. And in this video, I will be implementing how to build an email validation system from scratch. Yes, from scratch using Django frameworks. I believe if you watch this video from the beginning to the last end, you'll learn how to implement the same things that I want to work on this video. We'll learn how to implement the same thing into your website also. I believe if you're using Django, if you decide to choose if your framework of choice is Django, this video for you. So I know and I believe you want to like and share this video with your Django friends that are using Django as a tech stack, and I know you will like and subscribe for more videos like this, because obviously videos like this will be uploaded or will be displayed on the same channel and the same place, and I know you subscribe already for more videos like this. Thanks for watching. Now let's build something cool like this from scratch. Yeah, we need to build this email address verification system from scratch. So I think if you're very good at Django frameworks, if you're an experienced Django developer, this video will be cool, and you'll gain a lot from this video. And if you're a beginner beginner Django developer, there's a lot you need to learn also, and I believe there's a great lot you will gain from this video. So as I have said earlier, I want to build this from scratch, and from now on I want to be get into the coding aspect, and let's see how it is from the ground up. So first of all, what you're seeing on my screen is just the template. Obviously, when you're working on with Django web frameworks, there has to be a point where you have to link your backend endpoint to your frontend endpoint. And when we get to that level, I will tell you how to link it up and how it works. Yeah, if you're a beginner, that's why I said earlier that if you're a beginner Django developer, there's a lot you can learn from these videos, and if you're an experienced, you can also learn some few things from this video also. Yeah, yes, obviously I have get my template set up. I have my virtual environment set up too, and at this point I want to install some packages we need for this tutorial. I believe it's an email address verification system using Django. So most times when you're a software programmer or software engineer or software developer that is building a Django website or Django web apps, they get to a point where you have to verify and validate what users are entering into your form or into your website. So features like this, features of what I want to implement in this video, is what you have to implement also in your systems too, in your web apps too, as a software engineer or a software developer or web application developer, any of these three categories. So, and I believe obviously you have to if you can implement this inside your email verification system, you should be able to implement the same thing, apply the same techniques, or NS the same techniques to any other features to implement the features on, stuff like that. So yeah, let's talk and let's get into the coding aspect. So obviously I have set up my virtual environment already, and it's activated already. So now let me install Django. So I believe if you're new to Django, this is the video where you learn a lot, where you gain a lot from this video. So I want to install Django now. Yes, obviously I said I will build it from scratch, and that's why I want to get it done from scratch, right from A to Z. So I don't want to take much of your time, guys, because I know I don't like all this lengthy tutorials. It's crazy to me. It's weird to me. So that's why I want to I want to give you a brief or a comprehensive tutorial of how to implement email verification system from scratch. So I still waiting for this Django to get done so I can move to the next part of this video. yeah, since I have my Django, if when Django is done installing, I want to create my project. When I create my project, create my Django app. When I create my Django app, I have to implement the algorithms I have worked on already. Like implement it for you from scratch. In this video, when I implement it for you from scratch in the video, I we're making use of regress. I'm making use of some built-in Django package, Django method, and that's what those are the few things I will use to implement this verification system for our email address. And yes, from them we can test our what project. Yeah, so when I have this thing like set up, like I've installed Django already. Now I need to create a Django project. So if you're a Django developer, like an experienced Django developer, this part will be like wow, cool for you, because I know you are not new to this or this command I'll be typing here. But if you are an experienced, if you are like a novice in Django, like this will be new to you. But if you want a special video now where I give like an explanation of all this part, like all this command, Django command and all that stuff like that, I will leave a link beside this video where you can watch a full tutorial on how what are the rules of this for this command I've been typing so far. So yeah, I've created my Django project. Now I need to create my Django app. So every app will work inside the Django project. Like we can have a lot of apps. We can have like maybe an email app, we might have an account app, we might have like a version app or stuff like that. But you might decide to categorize all this app in different category of apps. Like every feature is in different category of app, and everyone will work seamlessly without any latency, like high latency and stuff like that. So that's just the things you enjoy when you build a web microservices architecture, like when you build a project using microservice architecture. So I want to create my Django. I want to create my Django app now. Well, I have my Django app created already. So now there has to be some settings that work on at this point. So settings like linking up my app to my Django. So this is where I'll link up my app to my Django. Let me just minimize this button. Sorry, minimize this terminal. See me app. So put a comma, because this is a list. If you're a Python person, obviously you know that's a list. So I have import OS because we'll be using this guy here, which is the front end. This is a template. All our templates will always reside inside all our front end code will always reside inside our template folder. So that's just that about that aspect. And where this will link up our front end with our backend. So obviously, so our backend. So that's just that about that. We're not dealing with any static file, any static folder, because we're using some inline CSS like inside our front end code. Let me show you. We're using some can you see some inline CSS? Can you see that inline CSS we're using our project? So just to make this a tutorial brief one and a comprehensive one, I decided to got some things that might prolong the tutorial, stuff like that. So I think I'm done with this aspect. So I think I'm done with this aspect. So let's move to our URL.py. So anything that you said in this py, I'm obviously done. So I asked them to the URL.py. This is URL.py on the project level. We will not create any URL.py inside our app level because it's crazy, like not like crazy like per se. It's like I just want it to be like a fast. I just want it to be like a short and a fast one so far. So yeah. So index, yeah. So inside the project level URL, I I import what my email app, because obviously I've added it inside my installed app. It's part of my installed app, so I can use it anyway. I can use any this importation in any way of my code I need to work, because I've included it inside my installed apps. So those are the things you enjoy when you do the necessary thing before you get into the coding fully inside app level. So I pass in a part as a method, and I pass in an empty string like for my router. Like I don't want it like to be like slash any string or any name I pass to it. I want it to be like empty. So, and this view is coming from this guy here. This is the view and does index, and obviously we've not created our index endpoint. We'll create it in very soon. So in few times to come we'll create it. So let's create our index now. Let's create our index, because obviously it comes any endpoint you want to create in Django will also always come with always comes with any endpoint creating Django always comes with always comes with a request. When it comes to the request, obviously the response has to be returned. Yes, when the response has to be returned, that's where the users will have like, wow, I've make a request from the web browser and the response I got is wow, it's cool, it's 200. So those are the things you enjoy. It's just like the basic elementary of how your web app works. Obviously, when you have your web app, there's always a part, a category where the request comes in, and there's always a part where the response will be given out back to the users who make the request. So it's just like a going back and forth, paradigm. So that's just it. So I said return render request, the request you passed, and this response, this is the response. Like this is the request I'll pass, and if I want to pass any dynamic data inside this response, inside this HTML page, I'll pass the context here. When I pass the context here, and it will make this page to be dynamic anyway. So don't worry, we'll get to where we have to make pass some data inside the HTML page. But for now, it's just a static page. So I want to show you guys when I show you the end result, or what we will get at the web browser, it's obviously what a static page for now. Yes, at this point, let me go back to what. At this point, you've created an endpoint already, which is a static endpoint, and now you have to create our model, because obviously users want to get their data or their email set to database. So this is where I'll go into the data, go into the model per se, and create a model email post model. So email model dot email field, and validator. About the validator, because obviously I want to use a custom validator to validate users email and to validate and verify users email. So that's just for that. So timestamp, I just put this one is optional, so I just have to let me just add it optionally. So model dot times field. So this will give me access to the date and time an instance of this email was created, like date and time. Auto add true. If I make it false, I won't get it. If I make this false, I won't get the updated time when these instances of each of these email will be created or something. So I utils dot import custom email validator. Sorry, it's just single, no s at the back. So I'll create an EPA function folder called utils.py. So inside this utils.py EPA Python file, there will reside a custom Python file called custom email validator. So let me create the file now. So utils.py. So inside this utils.py, I'll do some potentials, nation potential I needed. So I'll need regress, because I want to validate users email, obviously. So from Django I will also need this guy here also. Also need this guy. I also need this guy here. I want to check what are the things I need here. I also need this guy here also. So these are the things. These are the three things I will need for my email verification system. So I have to create a custom. I want to use the name I used earlier. Yeah, this is the name. This is the name I needed. So I want to use inside my helper function. So email. And if I get an email from users, I want it to pass through a pattern. Like, okay, users have updated their emails. What are the patterns? My patterns or the guidelines I want my email to have, like specifications of how my email to be like before it gets saved to database. Like all these things have to be like specifications of what your applications of your applications. Okay, I want my email that users will enter to my system, my platform, to have this format, to have this social format. Those are the things you have to put in place also, because obviously at the end it's just about you and your users, your end users, what users enter in from the what form. It might be in the registration page, might be in the might be in the password retrieval page or any stuff like that. So those are the things you have to be careful or be mindful of. So like, yes, I have a pattern that I want to implement already. So this is the pattern. This pattern I want to use. Oh, okay. This pattern I want to use for my own email verification, validation. So this is the first pattern to use for my email validation. So first of all, in the beginning of the email, I want to start with like, okay, these are the regress expression. This is a regress expression. So let me just give you a little summary of what this regress expression or pattern is all about. So at the beginning of any emails, I want you to have like maybe an lowercase or an uppercase. I want my email to start with a lowercase or uppercase, and if you start with lowercase or uppercase, I want it to have I want it to be like alphanumeric emails, and after that, users can also, there will be a case users email might have some special characters. So when my users email has special characters, this is taken care of by what I have highlighted here. So when I pass in some special characters like addition, multiplication, and percentage sign, these are the like few cases of special characters you can include in your email, plus ampersand plus @ obviously when you are entering your emails into any form, you have to either you must use @ as when you use @ you pass in your domain name, your email domain name server you are using. It might be Gmail, it might be Yahoo Mail, but obviously for this video, for the sake of this tutorial, we're using Gmail and Yahoo Mail. I don't know, you can decide to use your own custom email. You can decide to create your own special email algorithms or special email verification system you want for your own system. But for the sake of this tutorial, I'm focusing on both Gmail and Yahoo Mail. So after the @ users can pass in their at gmail.com or at yahoo.com. So if not, we have to do a checking at this point now. If not, is this sorry, we have to do if pattern is if match. So they have to be like, okay, let's check for this pattern and for the email and for ignore lowercase, ignore case. So it's this one. If this guy is true, I want you to return a what? Return a what? Okay, you must run a validation like this. This is not a what? A Gmail or a Yahoo Mail. What? This is not a Gmail, Yahoo Mail account. So these are the words. Sorry, and I have to pass in this guy. Okay, I have to pass in this validation error. I have to pass in this validation. Okay, raise validation. I have to raise validation error. So that'll take care of that. So, and you have to check for domain for the later part. like the domain server, or the domain. The reason I'm passing two arguments because there will be a scenario where I want to use the first variable or the second variable, so that's why I'm passing the two arguments. So this the two variables. So sorry, so to say. So well, at this point, I think this is well understood, and let me just paraphrase again. Okay, if this guy is true, run this guy. If this statement is true, run this guy here. And what is all about this if statement? What is all about this condition? So if whenever we check and the pattern of the email does not the email when users enter their email and its email doesn't match the pattern we pass here from this guy here, but while ignoring the case, like the uppercase, if it's the lowercase or uppercase, while ignoring the uppercase or lowercase of the email, you raise a word validation error if this guy here is true. So that take care of that about that aspect. So this is just to validate user's email if it's that Yahoo mail or Gmail. If they are not either these two guys here, it raise up a validation error that this is not a Gmail or Yahoo mail account. So that take care of that about the validating aspect. Let me put validating here. Validating. So let's move to the other part, which is the domain aspect, which is the other side of the email. So this is what I mean by the other side of this email is the other side of at. So that's why we are using email.split. When we do email.split, it will split it into two different categories for us, the first part and second part. So we are dealing with the second part now, which is the later part. So now let's check for if domain dot lowercase, because we want to convert it to lowercase. Users might desire to enter their Yahoo in uppercase. So this is where it got converted to to gmail.com. And let me pass here. Let me use the key value, the keyword passed here, so to say, and the lowercase. So at yahoo.com. So that's for the second part. So now we have to pass in some validation error here. Like, okay, if users sorry, just hold on. So at this point, we've splitted this email into two categories. We are emphasizing now on the word later part, which is the at Yahoo mail or at gmail.com. So the first instances of when users enter, the first instance of when users enter at gmail.com, assuming users enter it in uppercase, it will go converted to lowercase. And if it got converted to lowercase, we have to do some check-ins now. So this is where the check-ins will come in. So I'll change this one to the later part because we've previously used the domain. We've previously used the domain in this instance too. This is where we use the second variable. So now we have to use the first variable inside the array, array.match, because there has to be like comparison. So if domain.lowercase is equal to gmail.com, and if this has to be like two check-ins. The first check-in, if the first one is true, you check if the first one is true, and if it's true, move to the nested the second if statement. So it's like doing two work. So yes, it's doing two work. And before we move further, I want my Gmail to be in this pattern. So I want my Gmail to be in this pattern. So let me show you this part, the pattern I want my Gmail to be in. So this for the Gmail pattern. I will explain what this pattern does. For this, I will also get the one for Yahoo pattern. Because most times there might be like mistake from users when they are typing up their email on the web browser. So there has to be specific specifications like this being implemented at the backend too. So this will take care of what? This will take care of the Yahoo pattern. So at this point, so let me just explain what all this thing does. What all this thing what all this thing does. What all this thing does. I so what other things does. So for the first one, which is Gmail instance, I have a pattern for my Gmail. So yes. Let me explain what this regress expression does. The first instance, the first case is where the user enter lowercase. Obviously our email will be in lowercase, and so when user start when it start with lowercase, obviously it's always check. Okay, the first thing users enters has to start with what? It starts with the what? It has to start with an alphabet or a number. So when it starts with an alphabet or a number, it also check. It's always a checking that there's always another checking that will be done after the first instance, which is this first one here. And when it goes towards that, and when it's true, it's verified, you go to second one. You go second one. Let's go to second one. And don't forget the second one has a word dot behind it. There might be a scenario where we might have to like emails which are not like the common one we do see around us or stuff like that. So that's why I have this kind of pattern. So I have this pattern being implemented here for Gmail, and there will always be a check, similar to what we had earlier here in this first instance, where the validations comes in. But this is where it will authenticate if it's a Gmail or what, an Yahoo Mail, what email address. So there has to be a verification here for Gmail. And okay, if not true, if this statement is true, to raise up this validation. So if this statement is true, raise up this validation. So Gmail pattern, this is variable I pass here. The data type is the variable from here, and the race the array dot ignore case. This is where it ignored the case sensitivity of the email being passed. So when this thing is true, it raises up a validation error. Okay, this is not a this is not a Gmail account. This is not a Gmail account. The same applies to Yahoo Mail too. So this is not a this is not a Yahoo account for the second instance for Yahoo account. So if you have any question at this point, I want you to leave your question at the comment section below and answer your question. And more tutorials like this will coming up your way on the same channel. So I want you to like this video and subscribe for more videos like this that will be coming up here on the same channel. So at this point, we are done with our checking. So we have to return the email, because obviously it's inside when you create a function inside a Python program, it's either returning some values or returning none. So but here we want to return our email. We want to return email as the final value here. So we have to move further now. So since we created the algorithms for the email verification system, we want to make sure it is being used here. Yeah, I think it's being used here. I think this will be the second layer for the email verification. So let me return self.email. So that's just that about that. So it's the verification is of two layers. The first layer is when verification is done at the endpoint at the backend. So it should be done at this index HTML. Sorry, index function here. This is where the first layer of verification comes in. The second layer is when it's going through the model aspect, where to create an instance. So those are the two layers of verification that the emails will have to go through before it gets saved to the database. So I'm done with the second layer of verification. Let me go to the first layer of verifications now. So from here we have to import the algorithms we created. The algorithms we created from the helper function. So custom. So now we have to import our model also. Don't forget, we have not make migrations. I have not migrate our migration, and we have not migrate our database, which we will need to do as soon as possible. So at this point, you have to create a context, which is a what, an empty dictionary. Sorry, sometimes I type very fast. Empty dictionary. So when we create an empty dictionary, we want to check if users is making a post request to this endpoint called index. So when users make a post request, you want to get the value. Check email. You want to get the value of that email being passed from the form. So request dot post dot. Okay, now the values to pass here, request dot post. Obviously, to be a post request, the value on the pass here will be coming from our HTML page, which is index.html. So this is value that we pass. Obviously, this is the line that received it email address being passed from users, and the name value passed to it is email type. So let us pass that value to it. Email type. So email type. So at this point we need to move further now. So where we need to move further to at this point we need to move further. So now we have to implement the first layer of what, verification. So let's do our try here. Custom check email. That's the first instance. First layer. Sorry, I said first instance. This is the first layer of verification for our email being passed from the form or from the end users. So, and every try statement must have its own. Every try statement must have its own exemption. Yes, that's the rules in programming. Every try statement must have its own exemption. So we have to pass the context. Sorry, I have to make some changes very soon to some part of the code. Email error. So it will be like the email error. So message message. I'm being mindful of typographical error here. So here we have to use some packages here. So I want to use the validation email here. Wow, that error has gone. So when you use the validation email here, so at this point, okay, we are done with the first layer of verification. It will always do the checking here, and when it does the checking here, if any of this part of this if any line of this try statement fails, it must bounce back to the exact statement. So when it bounces back to the exact statement, that's where we can have an error page be sent to user, an error notification be sent to user that either you enter your own email or the email is not either your Gmail or your mail or email address. Those are the instances of where we might have an email and notification sent to users on the front end. So on the index page, index.html page here. So that's just that about that. So I need to at this point I need to create an instance of this email. Create an instance of this email. So an email equals to check email. So and this email equals check email. So let me just explain what I'm doing here. So this email post is coming from database here. This is where it's coming from. It's coming from database here. And when it comes from database, I want to create an instance of that email. So if you have passed through the first layer of verification, if you pass through the first layer of verification, it will have to create instance, and it's true. It has to create instance of that email inside our database. So when you create instance of that email inside database, save email. I want to give this line a name, a variable name called save email. So when you save email, let me use another name, form email. So form email, sometimes I type very fast. So form email. So if form email is true, you have to send the message to the users. Send the message. So we use the package that take care of the send. We use the package that take care of of anything that this is message sent to the backend, to the front end from the backend. So this is where the message will come in dot success. So the request will have to be the first argument being passed to it, and the what email saved successfully. So that takes care of that. So if at any point any of this line fails, it will always go back to always go back to this guy here. And when you go back to the guy here, the users will always see any of this validation error apart from the APA function file here. So it might be error that is with this guy, it might be error that is with this guy, or it might be the error that is with this guy. So any of the three instances of errors will be sent to the context variable. Because obviously we've instantiated our context variable here. This is where we'll pass some value into it. When we pass some value into it, that error message will be shown to users if need arise for it. So now you have to return render. You might use the direct, but I prefer to use return render because returns render. So I index.html, and we pass our context variable here. So because obviously anything that this with any part of this line, of course, is coming under the post request. So when you want to send the message back to the users on the front end, you have to enter this guy here. It will enter through this context variable here, which is a dictionary. So when you enter this context variable here, users can able to see the notifications of their email being saved successfully, or errors where the email they entered is wrong, or it does not meet our guideline or our verification system, our two-layer verification systems. So this is not like a 2FA, but like a two-layer verification system, just to make sure the email entered from the front end or by users is being verified pass through the two layers verification system we've implemented inside our system. So these are the instances of an effective email verification system being implemented using Django web frameworks. So at this point, we will have to at the later end we'll have to test what you've been working on. So at this point, I want to check if we will not have any error or we will not have any mistake at all. I think we are good to go at this point. Yeah, I think we are good to go at this point. So now, so there has to be an S statement being passed because obviously there has to be an S statement being passed because obviously anything that is with this guy here from that line highlighted to this last part is the post. Anything else will be a get request, like when users want to fetch that form, also like fetch that form again. So that's just that about that. So we need to make migrations. I haven't forgotten. So we need to make migrations for the database we created for the model table created. So yeah, this is the email post we created, and now I'm creating migration for it. So now I have to make migration for it. Let me make migrations for it. For any changes you make to your database, you have to make migration and migrate that changes you made to it. So I want to migrate. So when I migrate, I can now let me create my super user because I want to check what users enters at the admin panel. So why the super user has been created, I want to have access to my database, to my table inside my admin panel. So admin.register.site, so to say admin.site.register, and we place in our model table name here. So that's just that about that. So let me admin at gmail.com. So if you have any question, or if you have any friend that works with Django and you want to implement email verification system on their services in their project, this is the video. This is video for that same person. You can just refer this video to that your friend that's into coding, that is into Django, that might gain a lot from this video. So I have make migration. I've migrate changes I made to my database, and I've created my super user. Now the next thing is to test what we have done so far. So let's test what we have worked on so far. Now we need to test what we work on. So run server for running our local host. So at this point, yeah, I think we're cool. So at this point, let me just give you a brief summary of what's going on at the front end too. So we're passing some variables from the back end. So this message is coming from django.contribute.message, and it's just always checking like, okay, let me just explain what this part does. Okay, this is the method we always want to have on our form HTML, like on our form tag, which is the post method. We don't want it. We don't want to pass an action to it, like going to another endpoint. We want it to be like the same endpoint, and this is always a security measure you have to always take care of when you're dealing with any form in Django. Passing some cross-site reference forgery. I think that's the full name to it. CSRF token. Always give a token to any post endpoint. It always make sure a token is being placed on that form whenever a post endpoint is being made from the form. So, and the next line, take care of what? Take care of the Django.contrib.message we pass from the view file. So can you see this is the last part here? So we take care of that guy here. So and now it's always check if there's need for it. Like if there's need for it, we'll send a message to the users. Like the message is like instances where okay we want to save the email to database, to be like okay the email is saved successfully or it's not saved successfully, stuff like that. And that's just that about that. So the error the what the part that this with the error message is the second instance here. When okay, if there's need for it, if this thing is true, you turn the error message and users will see the error message you pass from the back end. So that's just that about that. So if you have any question about this video, I'll be making Django tutorials like this on the same channel. So always make sure you like this video and subscribe for videos like this that will be coming up your way. And that's what I'm here for you guys. So let's test our applications now. We need to test what we've worked on. We need to test our application now. Let's test our application now. So we need to test. So since we've run the server already, and we need to check what we'll be working on. So let's check what we'll be working on now. Let's check what we're working on. So it will be like okay. So this is the this is the final product of what we worked on. So let me type in my email. I believe I won't get banned when I enter my email. Like get bans out of being sent an email like error message when I press the final button use the submit form. Well, so there's a error we need to take care of here at this point. It's returned none. Used to end. So we need to check why we're having this error. If value error at index does not return HTML. So there's something something wrong somewhere. We need to check where the error message is coming from. So line, let me check. So this is for email. This just to check email. So I'm just looking for instances why we're having this error. So I want to like get where the error is coming from. I'm still checking why we are having this error. Success. Django contrib import message. So I'm still checking why we're having this error. Yeah, the validation error is here as E. I'm still checking why we're having this error. Let's check. Let's share this. Let's share it together. So let me see where the error is coming from. Post method. So I'm still checking why we're having this error. So let me check the utils file again. Check the utils file again. I don't see any cases of. Okay, let me check my custom email validator. So custom email validator. Yeah, that's the same name we pass here. So I still okay. Let me run the server again. So I need to test again to see if our error is gone. Let me test it again to see if our error is gone. I hope, wow, it's saved. Wow, this is awesome. I love this. So let me check. I have to check. Let me do some checking. So let me check let me check. I want to do some checking here. I want to check if it is saved to database. So I have to be able to reload because I have created a new instance of this admin. So wow, this is awesome. So let me test this application again to see cases where we might have the exemption. So let me test this application again. So let me check again. I can't read this page. So work.com. Wow, can you see the notification we have? So this notification is coming from the upper function we passed there, and obviously, wow, users enter the wrong email that doesn't pass through the 2 layers email verification system we've implemented. So at this point, if you have any question about what I've discussed, at this point, I believe you've learned a lot. We've learned how to implement, how to create a Django app, how to create a Django website, how to perform some 2 layers verification system effectively using Django, creating an algorithm that will be done inside the Django website. And this, you can have instances of where you might want to verify users' email. It might be in instances of where they want to create in the registration page. Might be instances in the password retrieval page, or any other instances you might ever think of. So at this point, I believe you've learned a lot in this video, and you've gained a lot from vital things in this video, either as a beginner level developer that is into Django. I was an experienced Django developer. I believe you learned a lot, you gained a lot in this video, and I know you've liked and subscribe for more videos like this. I'll be coming up here in the same channel. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I believe you learned a lot, and bye for now.